Today on Investigate TV Plus, these colorful canisters might look like something used to make whipped cream.
This is literally death in a can.
But they're a dangerous high that nearly cost a man his life.
Just because it is sold in shops does not mean it is safe.
A family shares their son's struggle with a nitrous oxide addiction, and experts weigh in on the lasting impacts of this chemical.
Then a firefighter's life forever changed after flames erupt at a battery storage facility.
I had to learn to walk again. I only had one working extremity at the time. I'd broken my neck, my back.
Why these fires are so dangerous for first responders, and how this explosion prompted major safety changes in an industry powering our modern lives.
And preparing for the Army's most dangerous missions.
Left side, left side.
Lane 2 overfilled.
We train with soldiers as they navigate terrain that tests their limits.
They're here to learn their leadership styles and how to operate with each other and to become the future leaders of America's Army.
In-depth stories that inform and inspire. You're watching Investigate TV Plus. A drug legally used by dentists to relieve pain is also easily accessible and fueling addiction for more and more Americans. I'm Lee Zurich.
And I'm Tisha Powell. We're talking about nitrous oxide, also known as laughing gas. The drug has been around for decades, legally for sale online and in stores. And in some states, it's easier to buy than alcohol.
The FDA warns repeated inhalation of the gas could result in blood clots, frostbite, paralysis, and brain damage.
Reporter Ezra Kaplan introduces us to a man in Portland, Oregon, using his struggle to highlight a crisis some say is hiding in plain sight.
David Warwick may never walk again.
My spine is so depleted. I have lesions all up and down my spine.
All from just 1 year of using nitrous oxide. At first, the drug provided relief.
I wanted to forget about work and all the stress of life and how bad I felt about myself for situations, and that's what did it.
But with a high that only lasts about 15 minutes, he quickly needed more and more.
So these canisters I was using, I could put them in my coat and I just sit there and hit it every once in a while, and nobody had a clue.
The gas became his top priority, and the rest of his life began to fall apart.
And finally it got to the point where things got so bad and I felt so terrible about myself. I called my mom and I said, "Mom, I need help."
Well, it rocked my world. Yeah. I knew something was going on, and I said, "What do you need?" He said, "Treatment."
Instead, he ended up in the ER, unable to walk.
Pretty much from my chest down right here, I was completely paralyzed.
Warwick went on to spend a month in the hospital and another month in a nursing facility. Recreational nitrous oxide use can result in damage to the body's myelin sheath, which insulates and protects nerves in the brain and spinal cord. Dr. Courtney Temple is a specialist at OHSU who studies the impacts.
Even with the correct treatments, sometimes patients have very, very long recovery processes and they may still be incomplete, so they may never fully recover.
Nationally, the number of nitrous oxide poisoning cases went from 28 in 2003 to over 400 in 2024. But even the experts agree that is likely a significant undercount.
A repeated use can injure the brain and the nerves, and just because it is sold in shops does not mean it is safe.
And the reality is that nitrous tanks are easy to find. They are sold at mini-marts and gas stations all over the state. You can even order them online from retailers like Amazon and Walmart. And on each tank, you'll see them marked as for culinary use only, for making whipped cream. But the colorful packaging and huge container sizes reveal their real purpose.
It's not for whipped cream. It's being advertised for people to get high on.
As David recovered in the hospital, his parents undertook the task of cleaning up the house. There were hundreds of them all over the house.
This is literally death in a can.
Canister by canister, the graveness of the situation hit home. But as David has begun his healing journey, they are feeling hope and are grateful for another chance with their son.
I've always told our kids that it doesn't matter what you do, we're always going to love you.
It's a message that David can finally hear loud and clear.
Without them, I wouldn't be sitting in this house right now. I'd be in home care.
In June of 2025, Oregon passed a law making it so you had to be 18 years or older to buy nitrous oxide.
Several other states, including Arizona and Ohio, also have legislation that includes age restrictions on nitrous products, but laws vary nationwide. You can learn more about policies to crack down on the sale of the potentially deadly gas on InvestigateTV.com. Just search nitrous oxide.
A steady flow of power is crucial to keeping our homes and businesses running.
But battery fires at the facilities helping to stabilize our electrical grids have raised serious safety concerns. The Environmental Protection Agency explains these fires can burn for hours and release harmful gases that pose health risks for nearby residents and first responders. While in recent years failures at these battery storage sites have decreased, the EPA says a response plan is critical when managing one of these sites.
Investigative reporter Morgan Lowe takes an in-depth look at how a battery fire outside Phoenix, Arizona, inspired a company to make changes they say could save lives.
They are used to power our modern lives, providing a place to store energy. Lithium-ion batteries pack a lot of electricity, but that power can turn unstable. They've caused golf cart fires, garage fires, car fires, airplane fires, and building fires.
These batteries, when they cook off, can get to temperatures of 3,600 degrees.
That was Fire Captain Michael Duffy at a Phoenix City Council meeting in July, warning about the dangers posed by lithium-ion batteries and the facilities that house them.
We're not talking about a Tesla car on the roadway. We're talking about an enclosed structure that is a maze.
Battery energy storage system facilities are popping up across the valley. These are just the ones owned by APS and SRP. This is what they look like, rows of structures that resemble shipping containers. They're full of racks containing batteries. This video from the University of Texas Fire Research Group shows just how fast a fire can ignite and quickly spread inside the containers to other batteries and racks, quickly going from a small fire into a roaring inferno. And this doesn't only happen in a laboratory.
We have a full-blown fire inside of one of these units.
This took place at an SRP battery facility. The plan at any of these is to let the battery that's on fire burn itself out.
Consume all the stuff that's in there, the bad gases, the chemistry that's going on, even the building that it's confined to.
Firefighters go nowhere near it because of something that happened to this firefighter. These images show the smoldering outside of the APS McMicken battery storage facility in Surprise in April of 2019. That gray mist on the ground is gas seeping out of the building.
When our Peoria firefighters opened the door, they gave this monster what it needed, which was air, and it deflagrated, it exploded. It was a freight train coming out of the door.
That explosion, called a runaway thermal event, severely injured 4 firefighters, including Peoria Division Chief Hunter Clare, who is back on the job but will never be cleared to work on a frontline fire truck again.
I had to learn to walk again. I only had one working extremity at the time. I'd broken my neck, my back, amputated my feet off, had to have those reconnected, shattered my scapula, broke bones, lots of different things that are going on, suffered a traumatic brain injury.
The investigation that followed resulted in major changes to how battery facilities are set up and monitored.
Our incident showed that there needed to be some changes within the industry.
60 miles southwest of Phoenix, you can literally see the result of those changes.
There was a moment of reflection for us, where we pulled in industry experts and said, how can we learn from this and make these systems safer moving forward? We decommissioned all of the sites that were like McMicken back in 2019 and started from scratch.
Kasdan Hall is the engineering supervisor of renewable generation at APS. He is showing us the state-of-the-art Desert Star solar battery site.
The technology is completely different.
The battery storage units are no longer indoors. There is ventilation for explosion control, and if there ever is a fire here, it's designed to burn itself out. Hall says the increase in safety is night and day for first responders.
Basically, the response is they show up, we let it smolder, let it do its thing, and then it'll put itself out, and if we need additional assistance, we'll call for it.
Not every battery energy storage system is as cutting edge as APS. There are also smaller battery systems in many data centers. But first responders in Arizona told us they are in a much better position today to respond to an emergency at one of these facilities than they were just a few years ago.
Still to come, we get insight into how an elite group trains to protect our country.
Rangers in particular are expected to be able to traverse and fight in any kind of terrain across the world.
How they prepare for battle no matter where it occurs.
Then later, a dental emergency has zookeepers performing an unusual procedure on a polar bear.
Everybody knew ahead of time what their role was and what to do and where to be in. It was so well planned out.
How a doctor who's never worked with Arctic animals helped heal the 450-pound patient.
You can watch Investigate TV Plus anytime streaming online. Get the app for Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and Apple TV. It's free to download.
It's the largest and oldest branch of the U.S. military, the Army.
Within the service, there is an elite group known as the Army Rangers, equipped to handle some of its most dangerous missions. It's why Army officials say Ranger School is one of the toughest training courses for soldiers.
For more than 2 months, candidates push the limits of their minds and bodies. They must make it through 3 phases, the first being the Derby phase, which is designed to assess a soldier's physical stamina, mental toughness, and leadership skills. Although soldiers arrive in top physical condition, the Army reports usually less than 50% will complete this first phase. If a soldier is successful, they head to North Georgia for the mountain phase.
That's where we find reporter Blair Miller with an up-close look at the specialized training preparing these elite soldiers for the battlefield.
It's here, 76 miles north of Atlanta, where the serenity of the summer intersects with the beauty of the North Georgia mountains. It's also where you find the colors of a nation and soldiers preparing for war.
Let go.
Welcome to Camp Merrill in Dahlonega, nestled in the woods and a major training ground for the U.S. Army.
Hands up. Check, check, check. All right, go.
I'm a sergeant first class.
Michael Whalen runs the training, putting these soldiers through high-intensity exercises, climbing with their weapons, and rappelling down the side of this tower. They're training to be Army Rangers and handle the unknowns of the mountains.
Rangers in particular are expected to be able to traverse and fight in any kind of terrain across the world.
How does what these guys are doing right now apply to what's happening in other parts of the world?
We're not sure where the next conflict is going to happen, but the odds are that wherever the next military conflict happens is that there will be mountainous terrain there.
It's not just using ropes to get from one spot to the next.
Slide it down.
It can often look and feel very real here.
Left side, left side. Plane 2 on repel.
You know, it may not be in Georgia, but another part of the world.
So depending on the part of the world that you go to, no matter where it is, you're going to run into any kind of obstacles.
Obstacles that can come with real-life consequences. The most recent data from the Department of Defense shows 844 active duty deaths in 2022. The training here is designed to lower those numbers.
Go. Ready to start.
But also give these troops the strength to be ready for the real thing when everything's on the line.
They're here to learn their leadership styles and how to operate with each other.
Get my lane on rappel.
And to become the future leaders of America's Army.
Next, let's go.
After training in Georgia, Ranger students will travel to Camp Rudder on Florida's Panhandle for the third and final phase, the Swamp. The Army says that's where students learn to handle waterborne operations such as small boat movements and stream crossings in difficult coastal conditions.
Still ahead, a school bus driver uses a skill learned decades ago to encourage students to overcome communication barriers.
We want our kids to know that you can do anything. You can have any profession, you can have any job, you have every opportunity to do anything in the world.
But first,
Kova is a very interactive and busy bear, and she just seemed kind of off. She was pawing at her mouth a little bit.
tooth troubles for a polar bear meant zookeepers needed a specialist to help solve the problem. Only this one had never worked on animals.
Our in-depth coverage continues. You can get connected to Investigate TV Plus on all social media platforms.
It's a question most people have probably never thought about. What happens when a polar bear needs a root canal?
I have no idea, but I'm sure they're going to tell us what happened.
No, I don't want to perform it. I can tell you that, right? Well, staff at the Alaska Zoo had to find the answer after one of their beloved bears broke a canine.
Reporter Lauren Maxwell shows us how they pulled off the procedure with a doctor who's never worked on anything quite like this before.
Polar bears Cranberry and Kova have long been favorites at the Alaska Zoo. Best buddies, they share an enclosure filled with toys and treats and a large pool where Kova in particular likes to take her morning swim. But it wasn't so long ago this normally playful 4-year-old was feeling under the weather.
Kova is a very interactive and busy bear, and she just seemed kind of off. She was pawing at her mouth a little bit. Good girl.
Curator Sam Lavins suspected an issue with a tooth.
Kova open.
So she asked Kova to give her a closer look.
We could see that she had broken one of her canines, and there's any number of ways she could have done that.
Just to give you an idea what we're talking about, this is a replica of a polar bear skull, and the tooth in question is this one. It's the lower left canine.
This one is her broken tooth.
An X-ray confirmed the diagnosis and what needed to happen next.
We did consult with a specialist, a veterinary specialist outside of Alaska, sent him the X-rays, got some good advice, and then we went with a local doctor to do the work.
An endodontist who normally operates on humans was part of the large team that performed the root canal on the fully sedated 450-pound bear.
Everybody knew ahead of time what their role was and what to do and where to be, and it was so well planned out, and everybody worked so well together.
The procedure, she says, went as smooth as butter.
She feels so much better.
The zoo said the 4-year-old polar bear quickly recovered, and she is happy to be back with her playmate, Cranberry. Can you imagine being the dentist getting that call saying, "Can you do a root canal on a polar bear?"
On a bear? Thank goodness the bear stayed out the entire procedure. Can you imagine waking up?
I cannot.
Yeah.
That'd be scary.
Yes, it would. All right, still ahead, a school bus driver shows us how knowing sign language can make a student feel valued.
I'm Viv Williams with a medical mythbuster moment. Frequent hand washing reduces your risk of getting sick and prevents the spread of germs. That's not a myth. But when you turn on the tap, what temperature should the water be for best results? If you're thinking the answer is hot, you're caught in a hand washing myth. The CDC says the temperature of the water you use to wash your hands doesn't matter because water doesn't kill many germs unless it's scalding hot, which is too hot to use on your skin. They say washing your hands with soap for 20 seconds or more will help keep your hands germ-free. With this medical mythbuster moment, I'm Viv Williams.
You can watch Investigate TV Plus anytime online. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel at Investigate TV. You can catch stories and full episodes.
Empowering elementary school students. In Missouri, a bus driver for Springfield Public Schools is using a skill he learned decades ago to make sure children who are hard of hearing feel understood.
Reporter Chad Pline shows us how he's helping inspire an inclusive community that's changing young lives.
At Holland Elementary School in Central Springfield, the district's deaf and hard of hearing program is a treasure.
They're tight-knit, it's a real culture, it's a real community, and it's wonderful to have that housed here.
Kids from all over the district come here to literally get a hands-on education.
It has made the world of difference, not just to me, but for my family.
Holly Pepe moved her family to Springfield so her son, Logan, could be in this program.
His communication has just grown leaps and bounds. from being here. And the people are just so nice and they feel like family. Good morning.
And every now and then, a part of that family stops by to sign. This visitor in the vivid vest is Ken Plaster, an SPS bus driver with a lot of experience.
Good morning. How are you?
Back in the 70s, Ken came to Springfield to attend the old Central Bible College, and on his way to becoming a minister, learned how to sign.
CBC had a program for deaf students training for the ministry, like chapel or in our special services. I watched interpreters, and it just sort of got in my blood, I guess. I got really interested in it.
Ken took every class CBC offered on sign language, and he used that at various churches in numerous states over his career. But the entire time, he kept driving buses, which he does now full-time for SPS. And the district had a wonderful idea. Give Ken the Holland Elementary route with the DHH kids.
I think it makes it more comfortable for them.
If the bus is going to be late, if there's an accident, if there was anything happening, our kids would need to know and would have the right to know what's going on as well. So it's huge.
Which gets us back to the classroom. Holland Elementary had Ken come in for the drop everything and read day to sign to the 16 DHH kids. He asked for a book ahead of time just to make sure his sign language was good.
How do you sign vroom, vroom? What's this? Vroom, vroom, vroom. It's car taking off.
My son Logan was there, and he loved it. It was really neat.
Our teachers, our staff members, they bring in guest speakers so that we want our kids to know that you can do anything. You can have any profession, you can have any job, you have every opportunity to do anything in the world.
Ken and Logan's mom, Holly, said any amount of sign language you can learn is important to help people who are deaf and hard of hearing feel included.
And that's it for us here on Investigate TV Plus. I'm Lee Zurich.
And I'm Tisha Powell. Thanks for watching. On the next Investigate TV Plus, as debt soars among Americans, experts say collector calls demanding people pay up are increasing.
They think that because the person is coming off aggressive, they feel threatened. They feel like I have to make the decision at this moment. And that's just really not the case.
We dig into complaints to examine when calls cross the line and help you understand your rights.